Hey guys, Josh here. Today we are here to talk about Manor Racing and who's going to be partnering Pascal Wehrlein in Manor for 2016. It's a pretty gripping tale at the moment really. There seems to be quite a few different drivers really pushing for that final seat on the F1 2016 grid, and really it's pretty open at the moment, and there doesn't really seem to be a clear or obvious favourite. It seems to be pretty much equally between three drivers. That is of course Rio Haryanto, Alexander Rossi and Will Stevens. Haryanto of course has been promised lots and lots of money by the Indonesian government, and Manor have given him the deadline of this Tuesday to stump together the remaining amount of sponsorship required for that second seat. Then you got Alexander Rossi, of course, raced in GP2 last year, raced of course for Manor in 5 of the last 7 races of the 2015 season. And you have Will Stevens, of course, who took part in every race last year for Manor. So it just seems to be very close between these three drivers. If you had to pick a favourite at the moment, it looks like it will be Rio Haryanto, but it all depends on whether or not he can stump up the sponsorship. And it does seem to come down to, a lot about sponsorship really. Of course, recently, of course we saw Maldonado with his sponsorship, falling through. So even if we do see a deal going ahead, we're going to have to wait and see, because it doesn't mean we're going to have, that driver in for the whole season. And one very interesting idea I saw yesterday, I believe it was from the Manor Racing fan blog, if I'm right in saying. I'm sure there's been other sources reporting this as well. But there are even suggestions that Manor could split the second seat 3 ways between Stevens, Haryanto and Rossi. And this is actually a really cool idea, and one I actually really do like, and one I think, more small teams should really look into. In terms of what it says in the rules, well, the FIA state that you're allowed up to 4 different drivers in a season, and if you guys don't know what I'm on about, well, this is basically splitting the seats 3 ways, so each driver does 7 races in the season. Wehrlein, of course, would not be affected. He's doing the full season in the number 1 seat. But the number 2 seat could, say for the Asian rounds, plus Russia, you could have Rio Haryanto in there. Then for the European rounds, of course, you could bring in Will Stevens, of course, with him being British. Then, of course, for the North American and South American rounds, you could have Alexander Rossi. And I think that would work really well in terms of getting the most amount of sponsorship out of these drivers, having a good mix of talent, and really getting the drivers who are suited to the tracks and suited to the environment and suited to their kind of home races. Like Alexander Rossi, of course, is always probably going to perform better at the American Grand Prix, and is really going to have the support and sponsors really drummed up for that race. And you can have the same thing for some of the Asian races. Of course, Haryanto, of course, doesn't have his own race. There's no Grand Prix in Indonesia. But there is a Grand Prix, of course, in China, Singapore, Japan, places kind of nearby which can still jump up a lot of sport, similar to, with Rossi, of course. Mexico, of course, is very close, as is Canada. So I think there's really good potential in this idea. And, of course, there are some flaws to it. The very fact that maybe sponsors would not like that. Maybe the FIA would somehow, try and clamp down on it, try and, stop it from happening. Because, of course, they like a very linear, 2 drivers. That's what you have for the whole season. It makes promotion, marketing quite a bit easier if you just have the same 2 drivers throughout the season. Maybe one, later on would sometimes change, but we haven't had 4 different drivers competing for a team. I think since, 2010? I know HRT had 4 drivers. They had Yamamoto, Yamamoto, Clean, Senna and Chandok, I believe. HRT had in 2010, just off the top of my head, and maybe Caterham as well. Caterham 2011, they had 3 drivers, I think, in 2011. Yeah, last time I think we've had 4 drivers, correct me if I'm wrong, is 2010 with HRT, so this is quite, it used to happen quite a lot more back in the day, really. We used to have a lot more driver changes, funding would run out, we'd have different drivers coming in, people wouldn't perform, so we get new drivers in, we get some young drivers, bring in some old drivers, people get injured quite a bit more, but really now we really don't have that many changes. Of course, if you think back to last year, we had Roberto Merhi swapping out for Alexander Rossi, and that's another thing. Could Roberto Merhi still be in a chance? Could Fabio Lima still be within a chance of getting that second Manor seat? Not likely, I don't think. I haven't heard very many rumours suggesting that Merhi could be doing that, or Lima could be stepping up. It does seem to be between Haryanto, Rossi and Stevens. Stevens is probably the outsider of those 3, I would have to say. It does seem like a straight fight between Haryanto and Rossi, but really we never know. I mean, it looked like Wehrlein was completely out of the picture a couple of months ago, so, a lot does change in a very short space of time in the world of Formula 1. and I will be very interested in hearing your guys' opinions of who is going to be in that second Manor seat. Let me know down in the comment section below. Would you like to see a split, that second split between the 3 drivers? I would absolutely love that. You guys can let me know down in the comment section below if you would like that too. Until next time, I've been Josh. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and goodbye.